Okay.
Better.
Yeah, I think it's good now.
Thank you for that. Welcome and thank you for joining our September board meeting. I am joined this evening. My name is Leah Cruzy, DC PCSB Chair, and I'm joined this evening by Vice Chair Jim Sandman, Treasurer Chantel Wright, Nick Rodriguez, and Shakura Adamafanian, who was sworn in yesterday for another term. Congratulations, Shakura, and welcome back. You've heard me say this before, but it is important for me to reemphasize. Not too long ago, DC was seen as a failing public education landscape that has been replaced by a commonly shared vision by city leaders and families who all believe that our students deserve better. As enrollment increases and Park scores make modest improvements, we know we have a lot of ground to cover to ensure students are prepared for the rigors of college, career, and beyond. I'm going to move us to a slide here. And I'd like to show slide 2 if I can. Thank you for that. Our commitment each and every day is in our vision. We want every DC student to receive a quality education that makes them feel valued and prepares them for lifelong learning, fulfilling careers, and economic security. And our mission builds on our vision and identifies our purpose, which is rooted in the authority granted to us through the School Reform Act. We aim to make DC public charter schools an environment where students, especially those from historically marginalized groups, thrive. We are responsible for approving, monitoring, and evaluating a public charter school with an emphasis on equity, academic excellence, and finances, creating policies and conditions to empower educators to do their best work in service to students, and actively engaging families, schools, and communities to inform our decision-making. Our oversight does not include telling a school who to hire, how to teach their students, or how to allocate or how to use those resources. Let's move to slide 3. Thank you. As those who follow our board meetings closely, you know that we are in the process of revising our accountability framework to set more rigorous expectations for how our schools are serving students. We have been very deliberate through this multi-year process, having sought the advice and input of experts, as well as our school leaders and other community partners. This slide shows kind of an outline of our long history of strong accountability and our commitment to the lifelong success of the students of the District of Columbia that has grounded and informed the revisions we're currently making to our accountability framework. As you see here, we plan to publish the revised accountability framework in 2025. And we're excited by this work as we believe it will have an impact on the quality of public charter school education in the district. And now I'd like to turn it over to our Executive Director, Dr. Michelle Walker-Davis.
Thank you, Chair Cruzy. As Chair Cruzy has outlined, we are continuing our work on the revised accountability framework. And before I get into the presentation tonight, I do want to acknowledge and thank our school leaders for their robust engagement on this topic. We heard their comments and feedback and have made numerous changes to the model. Our proposed model is better today because of all of their input. Our accountability framework analyzes school performance as part of our effort to achieve excellent public charter schools in the District of Columbia. This is one way we identify bright spots and opportunities for school improvement to reach our goal to increase student achievement. On this slide, you'll see that over the last 2 years, we have spent time researching and exploring, and now we're deep in the development process for the revised accountability framework. Beginning in October of this year, we will share elements of the final framework models with our schools. We'll hold small group sessions for each framework model with schools to provide greater clarity and understanding about the measures and metrics that we propose to use. And we'll use these sessions to share the mechanics of the models and answer any specific questions that school leaders may have. We also have a dedicated page on our website available to school leaders and the general public for more information on our progress with the revised accountability framework. It's under the section of the website entitled For School Leaders. In 2024, we will open the revised accountability framework technical guide for public comment. And following that, there will be a public hearing and an opportunity for public input and ultimately a vote by our board on the framework to approve the guide. As we look at the rollout, and I would draw your attention to the right side of this slide, we will launch in school year 24-25, which will be the baseline year for our framework, and we'll begin publishing and holding schools accountable for outcomes under the approved revised accountability framework beginning the fall/winter of 2025. As we finalize the changes to the accountability framework, we're also developing part 2 of our charter goals policy, and you'll see that in the green section on the phase rollout process. Within this policy, we will articulate how we will phase in the revised accountability system over time. This includes increasing expectations for school performance and the opportunities and consequences related to goal attainment or lack thereof. Additionally, this policy will capture all the major policies and guidance related to charter goals in one place, ultimately replacing what is known now as the PMF as goals policy. We will seek input from schools on a draft of part 2 of the charter goals policy in early 2024, and then open that up for public comment later the same year. We will seek final approval for the charter goals policy and the technical guide for the revised accountability framework on a similar timeframe. Lastly, we value multiple perspectives, and we will have ongoing opportunities for engagement. You'll see on this slide that, as I mentioned, in October, we will have the small group sessions for our school leaders. We will also, in November to February of next year, have targeted opportunities for critical review on the framework, and we are aiming to have an extended public comment process on the technical guide as well as the charter goals policy. So that is a high-level overview of where we are with the accountability framework. In addition to acknowledging the efforts of our school leaders with giving us input, I really do also want to acknowledge our staff, our data and accountability team, our school performance department, our external affairs department, and all of the work that they've been helping to gather input and get us prepared for a proposal to this board next year. Now I would like to shift gears and provide a brief update on year 2 of our strategic roadmap. Next slide, please. Early in my tenure, as you know, I launched an ambitious process to develop a strategic plan, and we now refer to that effort as our strategic roadmap. This roadmap continues to be our North Star. This evening, I will share an overall summary of the status of our strategic priority goals. In our strategic roadmap, we have 3 strategic priorities: excellent schools, enduring partnerships, and effective organization. And for each priority area, we have established 3-year goals. As a refresher, the following slides show each of these goals for our strategic priorities. Go back one, yep. To achieve excellent schools for all DC students, we will, by 2024, pilot and implement a new accountability framework. In addition, we will conduct annual needs assessments to inform decisions on new schools and expansions while taking student needs and data into consideration. We are going to review the policies we use to monitor schools and, if necessary, revise them to make sure they are aligned with our mission, vision, and values. Next. Our next priority is enduring partnerships, and this priority is our commitment to building new and stronger partnerships across the district. This means working more closely with families, community leaders, DCPS, OSSE, DME, and other government agencies, and education as well as education adjacent partners in our processes. And to ensure that we meet the excellent schools and enduring partnerships priorities, we need to serve our mission and focus on our vision. And that means that we must operate as an effective organization. So over the last few years, we have and continue to develop and implement systems, processes, and practices to hold the leadership, board, and staff accountable for delivering on the strategic roadmap. So what's our status? The next few slides will share our progress toward meeting the goals in year 2. So as we discussed, we have 3 strategic priorities. Each of those priorities have 3 to 5 goals, which are aligned to metrics that we use to measure our progress to meet the priorities. We met or substantially met 84% of the 44 strategic roadmap metrics this year. Substantially met metrics are those that were at least 75% or more completed. We'll dive deeper into each priority and the metrics over the next few slides. Next slide. This slide shows the summary of our excellent schools priority. I'm pleased to say that we have met goals related to enhancing our data analysis and display processes. We've implemented and updated criteria for charter applications and our special education and emerging multilingual learner audit revisions and much more. The metrics that are not met are connected to the timing of the updated accountability framework. And as you know, board members, we made a strategic decision to push back the timeline for the release of the technical guide. However, as you also know, we are well underway with that process and will be piloting our framework in the year ahead. Next slide here. This slide shows a summary of our enduring partnership metrics. Included in the metrics met this year, we are continuing our work and participation in various task force and working groups, deepening our dialogue with other government agencies and education organizations, and continuing our ANC engagement strategy. The one metric not met in this category was our desire to create a resource library, and that effort will carry over into next year, and I'm confident that we will get it done. And lastly, here is a summary of the effective organization priority. Included in the metrics met this year was the continued implementation of our race, equity, diversity, and inclusion efforts, revising our compensation practices, and implementing our new public comment process, which is fully underway right now. And the one metric we did not meet this year was related to our internal procurement processes and revisions, and that will be completed in this school year 2023-24. So here is a closer look at the breakdown of our year 2 metrics. Broken down by strategic priority, you will see we met or substantially met the majority of our metrics in each priority area. And out of the 44, we met 25, substantially met 12, and did not meet 6 of our metrics. Overall, I have to say that I'm extremely proud of the work of our teams and all that has been done to achieve our year 2 strategic roadmap. This presentation specifically will live on our website's strategic roadmap page. And as we begin our last year of this first strategic roadmap, I look forward to sharing with you soon our plans for the next phase of strategic planning, work for this organization. So thank you, Chair Cruzy, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Walker Davis, and thank you to this team and staff of the DC PCSB that has been working these past three plus years on this. These three priority areas, you can see how they're interrelated and how they all work in service to ensuring that our sector is operating in service to improving student learning. And our work is yet incomplete. Grateful for everyone and your role in supporting this sector in every school community toward this end of improving student learning outcomes. So tonight, we will move on to our public comment portion of our agenda. As we move through each agenda item, Aisha and Courtney, our moderators for the evening, will unmute DC PCSB constituents, staff, or individuals speaking on behalf of a school. The hand-raising feature has been disabled. Individuals who previously signed up to testify will be called upon. As a reminder, all written public comment is available to the public on our website. If you didn't sign up by sending your name to the public comment mailbox before this meeting, please do submit your comments to public.comment@dcpcsb.org or call our public comment line to leave a voicemail testimony at 202-328-2660 and select option 2. We have one witness who has signed up to speak this evening, and I'd like to invite Adam Davis to testify. Mr. Davis, please keep your comments to 2 minutes. Let's see, is he? Let's give him a moment here. Did you receive a written public comment from this individual? Okay. Okay. We will keep an eye out for Mr. Davis. Okay. I'll give him one more moment. I will proceed. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the September 26, 2023 board meeting agenda.
I second.
Okay, I will take a roll call vote for this. Jim Sandman,
Aye.
Chantel Wright,
Aye.
Shakura Adamathanian,
Aye.
Nick Rodriguez,
Aye.
and Leah Cruzy is an aye. Thank you. Next in our agenda is a policy revision. For that, I yield the floor to the members of the Equity and Access team. That'll be Michelle Gray, Equity and Access Senior Manager, and Tricia Francisco, Equity and Access Specialist. Welcome.
Hello. Hello, my name is Tricia Francisco, and I am a specialist in the School Performance Department. DC PCSB staff recommends the board vote to approve revisions to DC PCSB's English Learner Monitoring Policy. Proposed changes include 1, updating the policy's name to Emerging Multilingual Learner Audit and Monitoring Policy. 2, adding criteria and procedures to proactively identify and address schools whose practices and systems may not equitably serve emerging multilingual learners. And 3, articulating DC PCSB's audit procedures and post-audit interventions. Specifically, staff added language to expand and clarify the menu of DC PCSB responses to align with other DC PCSB policies, including the data and document submission policy, the mandatory school notification policy, the special education audit policy, and the data audit policy. Additionally, DC PCSB opened the policy for public comment from July 17th, 2023 through August 21st, 2023. DC PCSB did not receive any public comments. We held a public hearing on this request on August 21st, 2023. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
We had a chance to discuss this with you last month, so thank you for this. Colleagues, do we have any questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the English learner monitoring policy revision.
I second.
Thank you. I'll take a roll call vote. Jim Sandman,
Aye.
Chantel Wright,
Aye.
Shakura Adamafanian,
Aye.
Nick Rodriguez.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Thank you, Tricia. And
Thank
thank
you.
you, Michelle, for your work on this. Next on our agenda is a charter amendment request from Mundo Verde Bilingual Public Charter School. For that, I yield the floor to Starling Temp, Data and Accountability Goal Specialist. Welcome to Starling. And I'd also like to invite representatives from the school to provide remarks regarding this amendment request. Kristen Scotchmer and Dr. Alicia Williams.
Hello, my name is Starling Temp. I'm a specialist in the school performance department. Tonight, the board will vote on Mundo Verde Public Charter School's request to update business rules for 3 of its charter goals. If approved, DC PCSB will apply these changes retroactively, starting with the school year 2020-2021, the first year of the school's current review period. The updated business rules correct 2 inaccurate assessment titles and add clarifying language on the structure of home visits in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Per DC PCSB policy, charter goal amendment requests are typically only applied to future school years and are not processed within 24 months of a school's renewal. In this case, DC PCSB staff finds it is appropriate to apply the technical revisions retroactively and within 24 months of Mundo Verde PCS's renewal. The technical revisions ensure accuracy and clarity within the goal's business rules and do not change the measure or calculation of the goals. The changes do not have any impact on data collected for the purposes of evaluating goal attainment. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Starling, and welcome back, Kristen and Dr. Williams. Board members, does anyone have any questions on this from the presentation that happened last month? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the charter amendment request of Mundo Verde Bilingual Public Charter School and approve the DC PCSB board chair to sign the amendment on the board's behalf.
I second.
Thank you, and I'll take a roll call vote for that. Jim Sandman,
Aye.
Chantel Wright,
Aye.
Shakura Adamafanian,
Aye.
Nick Rodriguez.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Thank you, Starling, and congratulations, Mundo Verde team.
Thank you for having us tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Next on our agenda is the election of a new board secretary. Later this year, we will hold our annual election of all board officers. Tonight's vote is to fill the vacancy in the secretary position since our previous secretary, Ricarda Ganjem, left the board last month. I will now open the floor for officer nominations for board secretary.
Would like to nominate Shakura. Shakura, I don't want to mess up your last name.
Adamafanian. It's okay.
Adamafanian as board secretary.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for board secretary? Hearing none, we'll now take a vote on the nomination of Shakura Adamafanian as secretary. Jim Sandman,
Aye.
Chantel Wright.
Aye.
Shakura. Okay.
I can vote for myself. Okay. I vote for me. Aye.
Nick Rodriguez,
Aye.
and I am also an enthusiastic aye.
Congratulations, Madam Secretary.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we will vote on the consent calendar. Would any board member like to remove an item from the calendar for further discussion or state a recusal for the record? Excuse me, hearing none, I will now entertain a motion on the consent calendar.
I move to approve all items on the consent calendar.
I second.
Thank you. Actually, roll call vote. Next meeting, this will be you. Okay. Got it. Jim Sandman,
Aye.
Chantel Wright,
Aye.
Shakura Adamafanian,
Aye.
Nick Rodriguez,
Aye.
Leah Cruzy is an aye. Thank you. Is there any new business? That I will take a motion.
I move to adjourn the September 26, 2023 board meeting.
I second.
Jim Sandman,
Aye.
Chantel Wright,
Aye.
Shakura Adamafanian,
Aye.
Nick Rodriguez,
Aye.
and Leah Cruzy is an aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Aye.
Good evening.